Hi there, my name's Mads and I like to create little watercolor drawings and comics. So today I'm going to be walking you through how I create these 5 characters that you see on screen. So the first character I'm going to start with I like to call Polite Bear. He's a little egg-shaped bear and I like to draw him very kind of flat and cartoony and two-dimensional, which is just my preferred style. And this little bear just kind of popped out of my head one day when I was at work 3 years ago. I was just doodling and he kind of just came to life on my page as like this embodiment of all the qualities that I really enjoy in my boyfriend and my friends, which is someone who's just very sweet and gentle and polite. The next character that I'm going to be drawing is the second addition to the Polite Bear universe. His name is The Bird, and he doesn't really have his own name. I kind of thought it was funnier if he didn't have one. And I always refer to him as Polite Bear's bird. He's not really Polite Bear's pet, he's really more of his roommate and kind of his closest friend. And you can often find this bird just sitting next to Polite Bear like a cute little blob. And this third character that I'm drawing, I like to call Nervous Nut. I designed him after the look of an acorn, and so he's got big round glasses and he's got a beret hat that he wears on the top of his head. And I call him Nervous Nut because he's really nervous and he's really anxious about everything, and he always kind of has this surprised expression on his face. And I like to think of him as like my sweet nerdy character. And finally, the last 2 characters that I'm going to be drawing today are 2 wide, square-shaped bats that I like to call the bat bourgeoisie. And so as their name suggests, you can tell that they like to think they're very fancy, they like to think they're very posh. You can oftentimes catch one of them wearing a monocle or the other one wearing a bow tie when they're out, just running an errand or going to the post office. And they're very snooty, and I really liked the idea of having 2 characters who contrasted so much with the other 3 characters in this universe who I think of as being really down to earth and really chill. So this is the bat bourgeoisie. And after I have finished drawing out all 5 of my little characters, then I love to bring them to life by adding color. And watercolor is always my paint of choice. I just love how it looks on paper. I love how it blends together. I love how kind of clear and see-through it can be, or how much you can build up the color. So yeah, that's always what I do. I always go in and I add a nice color combo to each one of my little characters. And so my kind of vision behind all the characters in this universe is that they're super, super colorful. They look really playful and almost childlike, so I like to intentionally leave paint going outside of the lines that I drew. I like it to look like they're all kind of popping right out of a storybook. And I like to use contrasting colors and blend them together on each of the characters so that it's really visually eye-catching and just really pretty to look at once it's all dry. So here for the bat bourgeoisie, I'm using a combo of green and yellow for the bat on the left, and then a really nice purple and blue for the bat on the right. And this blue is my favorite color. I just absolutely love how it looks. I think it's so pretty. So for Polite Bear's watercolor design, I like to use a combination of this really pretty light blue and then this really nice rich seafoam green. And I like to evenly blend them. And the look that I'm going for is kind of like a nice ombre ocean, maybe the Mediterranean Ocean on a fresh spring day. Because Polite Bear is very grounded, he's very down to earth. He really reminds me of water because he's very gentle and very calming. Next, for the bird, I chose 2 colors that are really bright. I chose this kind of like primary yellow and then this hot red orange that reminds me of a color that was really popular in the 1940s called radioactive red. And I just love the way these 2 colors combine. They kind of contrast with Polite Bear and they go with the bird's really chaotic and goofy energy. Then for Nervous Nut, I wanted him to look like he was found kind of sitting in the grass, like how an acorn would fall out of a tree and just sit there on the ground for a while. That's kind of how I think about Nervous Nut. So I decided to go for contrasting green colors. So I've got this nice warmer green that I use for his body, and then I've got this really pretty lime green that I use for his glasses, his hat and his shoes because he is a color coordinating boy. He likes all of his accessories to match. So these are all 5 completed characters that currently exist in my Polite Bear universe. I just think the final product of them all together is so cute. It's so colorful and so playful, and I just really enjoy the whole process of sitting down to draw them and watercolor them. So thank you so much for tuning in and following along with me as I spend time with these little critters, and I hope that you have a great rest of your week.